Right then.
Hello,
Evening, everybody.
hello.
There's so many people in the chat already. It's lovely to see you all. So we're here tonight, obviously, to do our Thursday night live as we normally do. And we've obviously got our, what are you about to say?
I just looked at the clock then. It took 14 seconds before Carole said a word that nobody even knew what it was.
Yes. So we're here today to obviously announce our big next trip, which we're so excited about. It's our second bucket list trip. Obviously, our first one was to Australia, and this one is the one actually that we were obviously really excited about Australia. But this is the one that's been at the top, hasn't it, of when we sort of worked out our bucket list trips. This is the one that we've been wanting to do for such a long time. So we're going to go into that shortly. I can see loads and loads of people, so we'll say hello to everyone as we go along. We've also got some special guests that's joining us, and they're going to join us after we've made our announcement, and we can go into our general sort of Q&A as we always do. Now, just to start with, you all right, Paulie?
I just got to do a sneeze, I think.
Oh, bless you. So, what we're let me just think. So there's a few things that I wanted to say before we sort of got into the general banter.
Say, that is,
oh yes, cheers! We decided to have a cheers all. Now, for those that are interested in our group cruise, let me get my banners up because I've been playing with my banners. So group cruise. So here we are. So those of you that are interested in our group cruise in 2025, all the information's there and it goes on sale next week. So if you do want to join us, do fill in a pre-registration form. That way Dan will be able to have all your information and be able to book it. You don't have to book straight away, obviously, if you're considering. It is going to be open until a final balance date booking. So there isn't any urgency. However, we already know that certain categories of cabins have already gone or are very, very low, aren't they? So if there's specific ones you want, fill in that pre-reg form and will really help Dan understand, who needs to get booked as a priority. So we just wanted to mention that.
But Dan is going to be going through the pre-reg cruise forms.
Yes.
In the order of which he receives them.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's already received quite a few. So if you haven't done it yet and you're interested,
get it in.
Pull your finger out.
No. Obviously, patrons will be looked after first, then the subscription to our newsletter, and then obviously everyone else that.
And anybody who buys me cider.
Yeah.
They get right to the top of the list.
So that's our group cruise. The other thing, today it went live. We've been invited on we were invited on a podcast with Paul Thornton. I don't know if you've heard of this guy. He's an acclaimed author, isn't he? Of the Joy of Cruising books. And he invited us onto his podcast called the Joy of Cruising podcast. So I know a lot of people are into podcasts. So if you enjoy listening to people talking rather than watching videos and stuff, he's got some fantastic interviews with lots and lots of cruise people that are basically passionate about cruises, not just cruise bloggers, but from all walks of the cruising world. And so make sure you check it out.
One of his podcasts he's done, which you might want to check out, he describes them as the most fun couple at sea.
Yes, he did.
So if you want to check that out, he was talking about us.
Yeah, he did. A lovely, lovely guy, isn't he? American guy, and we just laugh so much. So there you are. So I just wanted to mention Paul's podcast because it is excellent.
No more banners for us?
Not at the moment.
Wave Awards? So I see Kevin's already put some about it's the last day for Wave Award votes.
Oh, yes. Link in description to votes. Yeah. See, these banners are working well, aren't they? So let's just see who's in who was first here today. Kevin from Canada was first in the house. So and quite rightly he says, once we've made our announcement that if you have a question for us, please start with a question so that we can see it in the comments, because things just move so fast. And if you do enjoy our broadcast, it's funny call it a broadcast, isn't it? What do you call it? Our live
stream.
That's it. Then please give us a thumbs up, because that obviously tells YouTube. Do you know I can't get my words out
4
tonight,
minutes in, might have to take the wine off.
This is the first glass. So
yeah.
But anyway, so Andy and Carla here and saying loving the new logo. I've been playing. Yes, look, I've got a new mouse mat. Can you see it? Where is it? And then people tell me I don't need a mouse mat because I've got a mouse that doesn't need one.
Yeah, to all those people.
I've got stickers and a new pen. So it's all exciting stuff here. And regarding merch, it's our T-shirts are being sent to us. We should receive them this week, so we'll begin next week, the first samples. So that's really, really exciting. But yes, thanks Kevin for bringing that up, because Paul spotted that. And Thomas is here, finally made alive. And Philip is early. Wow. That is well done, Philippa. And so many people here. Like we say, we'll mention as we go along, and Ken goes cruising. So brilliant. So should we just get straight into it then, Paulie?
Yeah. Bucket list cruises. Now, I didn't realise that you're only allowed to, when you pick a bucket list cruise, you're only allowed to then do other bucket list cruises that begin with the same letter.
I wonder where he was going with that then. I thought, what is he going to say?
So we went to Australia, and the next cruise we're going to is Afghanistan.
No, it's not. I don't think there's any water there. Well, I'm sure there's water, but not any.
No, so we are going.
Are you not going to do a drum roll or anything?
I haven't got my drummer in the wrong room.
Oh, no. Alaska! But not only just Alaska. We have booked a fabulous trip, an 18-day trip that includes a land tour and a cruise. Now, we booked obviously through Dan, as we always do, with a company called Titan Travel. I don't know. I'm sure the guys in the UK will know those. They specialise in package holidays. They pick you up from your door, take you to the airport, and put you on a tour wherever you want to visit in the world, basically, isn't it? So we've decided that our trip is going to start actually in Calgary. We're flying out to Calgary next Saturday. And when we get to Calgary, we're being taken straight to Banff, where we're spending 3 nights. I'm going to get my notebook. I've got a new notebook with a new sticker. Hey! So, just to make
I'd
sure.
show you all the merch I got, but I got nothing.
Got a new business card, Paulie, that I gave you. Got new business cards as well. Yeah. And look, see, we're trendy. We've even got a QR code. But anyway, back to our mega trip. So we got 3 nights at the Royal Canadian Lodge in Banff, where we've got some included excursions. We're hoping to catch up with a very special person there. So stay tuned for that. And then we go to Jasper. We get transferred to Jasper for 2 nights. And then we get on the Rocky Mountaineer train and we head towards Kamloops and finish off in Vancouver. And that makes me, I'm going goosebumpy. It makes me so excited because we've never done anything like that, have we? No, we haven't.
What are you asking me?
I'm not asking you. So then when we get to Vancouver, we've got a night in a hotel, and then we are cruising with Holland America, and we're on one of the Pinnacle class ships, Koningsdam, for 7 nights, doing one of the Inside Passage cruises, going to Skagway, Ketchikan, and Juneau. Before we get off, when we get off, we're then in Vancouver for 2 nights before we fly home. So we are just stoked, aren't we? About that? Stoked like a fire.
I don't think I've ever been stoked in my life.
Is there anything you want to add?
Nothing at all, mate. Now I know we're stoked. What can I say?
No. Well, we're missing the other big thing as well. Why it's a bucket list, because obviously on bucket list we try to treat ourselves to the best that we can afford at that time. And this was Paul's idea. So you need to tell them all about this part, because this is the first time we've ever had this type of cabin.
Some stupid idiot. When Carole was sorting all this out with Dan, and what cabin should we have? Should we do this? Should we do that? And I said, "Oh, what's that? What's that cabin that Gary Bembridge always has when he does stuff like that?" And Carole said, "Oh, that's the Neptune suite." I said, "Oh, we'll have one of them." And obviously Dan's on the other end of the phone at this point. He's I could hear him spit his tea out because he's obviously thinking he doesn't know what this is going to cost, does he? So just do it. So yes, I was a bit of a silly Billy, and it is costing a lot of extra money. But I just think that is it a once in a lifetime opportunity? I don't know. we're probably going to go there
and love it
by
so
the
much.
stuff I've seen. We've been blown away.
Yeah.
But the next time we go, we don't have to do the big Titan tour before. We don't have to have the Neptune suite if we can go. And obviously, Holland America do it, Princess do it, Norwegian do it. So there's other options to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
At maybe.
But having the Neptune suite,
but the Neptune suite is just bananas. I've looked at it, and it's it's not bananas, it's orange, because we get specialty dining, or we like some orange restaurant and all sorts of weird stuff.
And the biggie for us as well is laundry. So we really only need to pack for the first 8 days, and then we can do all the laundry. So
all we're taking is dirty clothes.
No. But our Neptune suite, because Gary doesn't always have the same. This isn't the same that Gary picked. Gary always has one in the midship, because he doesn't like to be at either end. We've picked one right at the aft, and we've got a corner aft Neptune suite. So, and the reason, obviously, we put the corner one rather than one midship, because we thought views of Alaska on an aft corner suite will be just absolutely amazing. So, and they provide binoculars too, don't they?
Got binoculars.
And
if I don't see a whale, somebody's getting that.
Yes, I'm sure we will. Hopefully. So there we are. So let us know in the comments what you think.
What I'm really looking forward
to, have a look
is penguins and polar bears. That's what I'm
penguins and polar bears.
I'm all over that.
Yeah, Paul.
My geography is not very good, but I'm confident we're going to see penguins and polar bears.
Let's see then. So if you hit, make sure you do the white. Shane's already said, if you hit Skagway, which we are, make sure you do the White Pass Railroad. Awesome. Did it last year. We booked the excursions. We booked 3 excursions, and the excursions will cost us just under £1,000 as well. That's because bananas. Of the things that we wanted to do.
But I am actually in the Lumberjack show, so...
Grace says right in the aft. Yeah. Yes, we are right in the aft.
I'm in the Lumberjack show. I'm actually the lump of wood that they chop out.
And Tom and Dom say the whole trip sounds amazing. Oh, yeah, we're really, really
I'm not
excited.
Because I don't even know what that is, but I am very, very excited. I'm so excited I could crush a grape.
Not crazy. Look, are you taking the Eddie the Eagle costume to Calgary? Oh my God. Nat is our niece, and we went one year at racing. It was a fancy dress. We all dressed up when I used to go racing. And Nat has got an Eddie the Eagle costume that she wore, and we were in hysterics, weren't we?
Including skis.
Yes.
And it is spectacular. And she lent it to me. I went on a football tour, and she lent it to me, and it was like, oh my. The only trouble is it does up the back.
Yes.
So I mean, all you women out there, I feel your pain, because on a football tour, a lot of beer involved, and when you've got to go and have a wee about every 20 minutes, having a costume that only buttons up at the back is very, very inconvenient. But it's hilarious.
NorCal Jens asked, does your Alaska itinerary include Glacier Bay? Yes, it does.
Yes, it does, yeah.
And Guitar says, did you let the Thatchers talk when we booked the Neptune suite? No, I think you were sober at the time, probably.
That's the sad thing, is I was as sober as a judge. And then when Carole said, read through that invoice to make sure all the details are correct, and that's when I started crying. And that's when I needed a Thatchers.
But thanks for all the lovely comments here. So if you've got any comments about that trip, or any of the trips that we've been on, or anything you want to ask us, then please do. Let me just check that there's any other... Sounds like a great trip. Yes. Jealous about the Sherry's here as well. Carole be able to advertise wherever you go. Yes, if we have our t-shirts. Jealous about the Rocky Mountaineer Train and Banff. Yeah, do you know when you see the pictures of that area, and we've been watching other people that have cruised to Alaska, I think it's one of those places that's just going to actually blow us away. And Travel Johnny and Will's here, which is brilliant. Would definitely be one of ours too. So with that in mind, we've got, like I say, make sure you put any questions in the comments there. But we want to introduce you to 2 very special people, so 2 people that we think the world of, and we've got to know really, really well. And the reason we want them to be on this live stream is because they are coming to Alaska with us. So we're going to have a fun week with them. But also, they're the first couple in North America that have been able to take a Marella cruise. And we know we get questions every day. How do I, as a Canadian or an American, get on a Marella cruise? And we felt that it'd be really, because we've just been on Marella, and you know how much we love Marella. So without further ado, let's bring in the lovely Cruising Canucks.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Exciting times.
Big news,
Yes.
Alaska. You get to go see snow and cold.
I know.
Just like a normal day in England.
Oh, you might need them.
Yeah, you might need those
Yes.
skis, Paul.
So if you've got any questions for Jerry and Jill, then please put them in the comments here. I'm going to just go back up a little bit just to see everyone who's here, because I like to make sure that we say hi to everyone that makes the effort to come and say hi to us. So Tina's saying hi. Hi everyone. I hope we're all in the correct seats today. Do you know, we did our members live a few days ago, wasn't it? And I was sat the other side, and everyone's like, "Hang on a minute, you're sat the wrong way round. What are you doing?" So that was.
The trouble is now I'm stuck in here, and my cider's nearly all gone because I'm very excited about obviously our cruise, and I can't get out now. I'm wedged out. And Carole said that's not a bad thing, but her seat is on wheels. So in a minute you'll see her.
Just
she's
slide
she's
away.
not what's it, elevating or what's it called?
Elevating.
Levitating. So I've actually
Levitating.
decided I've had one.
Right, so let's see. So Amanda's here, and so that's always lovely to see Mandy. And travel, and Brett, it's 2 days until my first ever cruise.
Ooh.
Oh, no longer the cruise virgin. Yes, once you know that. Yes. So let's have a look to see if we've got any questions in the chat. Let's go right to the bottom and see what we've got here. Dawn saying, Mrs. Canuck's glass of wine is bigger than yours, Carole. Is it? Oh my gosh, it is.
Once again, outsized by the Canucks.
Yes, Jerry's Cole was a lot
guys,
longer
get ready for it.
Yeah. Jerry's Cole was a lot longer in the Caribbean, wasn't it?
Well, I think it was the warm weather.
Jerry's got a 360 as well, and I don't know if you've seen our social media post one. We had such a laugh about the Paul's pole wasn't just not very big, was it?
Everything shrinks and lasts, we'll see.
Yeah. So yes, Marella, for Americans or America. So I don't know if you want to just say. I know that at the moment you're doing all the editing for your videos, aren't you, to showcase how you did it? I think the first of your vlogs is now out, isn't it? If that's correct. And
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to be putting a video together about how you did it, because it wasn't straightforward, was it? So I don't know. Hand over to you now just to give an insight into what challenges you faced and how you managed to do it.
All right. Yeah. So like so many other North Americans, we watched Paul and Carole travel on Marella, and we wanted to do it. Yep. And so I said, let's do it. And we found out they were having a ship that was sailing right out of North America. So we thought, well, that's easy. We don't have to fly all the way to Europe to give it our first try. All we have to do is fly to Florida. So we looked into it. We even reached out to Dan, your travel agent, and we started hitting roadblocks right away.
Yep. Yeah, we quickly found out that we couldn't pay for the cruise without a UK registered credit card. And when we said to them, well, our North American cards worked when we were in the UK, they should work for paying for the cruise. They said, well, if that's the case, just come over to London in our office and you can pay for it. So that wasn't really going to be a solution to fly.
Yeah. That's what TUI wanted us to do. They wanted us to fly to London, pay for the cruise, and then they'd bring us on the cruise.
And then keep in mind, that was for the cruise only. So we didn't book the airfare part that TUI typically does in most Marella cruises.
Right.
But we did find a workaround, and that workaround was using PayPal became an option with TUI. So we managed to get that hurdle overcome. But then trying to get boarding passes and line things up for someone that's not traveling by airplane to bus shuttle to cruise, which is typical what TUI does.
The other thing that was a holdup was they weren't going to let us register because we didn't have our stuff. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, we don't have an
declaration.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have that, and we had never heard of that as a Canadian because it's not something that we require to go to the US. Right. So that was a little bit of a confusion for them all. But anyways.
We didn't get our boarding pass till literally the day before the cruise. That was finally when they gave us a boarding pass and said we were getting on the cruise. So we had some weeks and months of not sure if we were going to be able to make it happen. So and then the funniest part was getting to the port. They looked at us like we were lost. We showed up in a car that was dropping us off. Everyone else comes by bus. There was no hustle and bustle at the port.
We were the only ones there.
Yep. And well, they kind of were surprised. They didn't even think to check our luggage for us. They were so surprised. They said, just come with us. We dragged all of our luggage onto the ship, even our big cases. Everything came on with us all at once.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
really?
biggest thing too for us personally was our passports. The system wouldn't accept my passport in particularly because our date of birth, the month and the day is opposite on our passport than what a British passport was. So their system wouldn't allow it to accept it. So we found out in person that was why we weren't allowed to pre-register, just because of the way my date of birth was. So in person, met a special agent. They had to get the supervisor, but Marella staff were wonderful. They took us aside. They looked after us. They got us on board, and it was fabulous. We had a wonderful time.
Yeah. Once we got on board, everything was amazing. We were one of the first ones on the ship because all the other TUI airplanes from UK had not yet arrived for the ship. So we were the first ones to get on. And from that moment on, it was just an amazing experience. We absolutely loved Marella.
Yeah, our first log of day one embarkation went out last week, and I've answered so many responses from people saying, why is the ship empty? Where is everybody? But we were lucky enough to get on a couple hours before the majority of people arrived. So it was very special.
Like you say, because Discovery.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they've said that, have they?
It was Marella Discovery, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Marella Discovery.
Out of Cape Canaveral or Port Canaveral, Florida is where it left from.
That's right.
Yeah, because traditionally, TUI, you fly in, don't you? Everyone arrives on a plane because they don't go out of the UK. So and like you say, it is strange for a cruise line because you think it's a no-brainer. There's so many people that would cruise on Marella if it was going out of the UK. I don't see why they don't base a ship here. They did, because that's how we did our Northern Lights cruise.
Okay.
That's how we got Paul's dad on, and we had a fantastic 2 weeks going up to Honningsvåg and doing the Northern Lights. But then they stopped. So I don't know the rationale behind that.
Because it's such a British cruise line.
Yeah.
It couldn't be much more British.
Yeah, no, I find that strange because as we were on the Marella ship, I'm like, okay, next time we go on Marella ship, I want to go to England. I want to go out of England on it because I think it would be even cooler. And we started looking at, the next ones. He's like, there's none going out of England. You have to fly somewhere else.
We just looked the other day. So if we want to go on a ship again that's got toad in the hole on the menu, we got to figure a way to get to Marella somewhere else.
Well, you've got to find out what toad in the hole. Did you know what toad in the hole was?
Luckily, I had the internet and I was Googling, but I'm telling you, there was a lot of British people making fun of me. Yeah, they saw me researching what some of the labels were in the buffet of food.
Well, and my question in my head was to you then, and then we'll go through the comments to answer any of the questions here, is because obviously it's predominantly Brits that are on Marella cruises. How did you feel as sort of the only Canadians on board? Was it how did it work?
We just found that not only the staff, but the other fellow passengers were so welcoming. Every time we sat down somewhere, we started a conversation and chatted with people. It was just, everybody was just so happy to be on a ship. It was a joyous time. We had a blast. We thought maybe, people would be looking at us sideways because we talk funny according to them. But no, it was great. It was wonderful. I said and out and about as often as I could.
They kept looking at the two North Americans. It's like we were the only North Americans walking around the ship, and we had all this camera gear. They were walking around vlogging, so that added to the suspicion and the looks we had at first until we got to know people.
Yeah,
we thought, of course, everybody on here must know Paul and Carole. They must be used to this type of thing. But
but I'm glad you enjoyed it because Marella is such a fun ship. The entertainment's brilliant. It's nothing posh, is it? It's not posh, or it's not sort of grandeur. It's nothing sort of sparkly, but it's just a very fun experience.
It was a very fun ship for sure. And I would say we really enjoyed the glass house on that particular ship, the Discovery, so much that I felt like that was, when we've gone and paid for sanctuary type resort places on cruise ships before, and we got that for free with Marella. So I'm like, wow, this is a huge bonus. They've got some stuff going for them.
They're only on the Discovery ships. They don't have them on the Explorers, or they don't have it on a Voyager. So it's there's Voyager ships. Well, the Voyager and Explorer ships are very different from the Discovery ships. The Discovery has that awesome atrium, which is amazing. They have all some brilliant entertainment there, don't they? And the Explorers have different. They've got some really nice sort of forward-facing lounges. The Voyager's now got that lovely summer house. So it's they do offer different things a ship, which I like. I like a cruise line that ships are different because then that you don't feel like you're doing the same ship all the time. But let's have a look here. So people are talking about the group cruise. So Travel and Johnny and Will, woo! Yes, group cruise indeed. I think it's 680 days to go. So quite a few, but who's counting? So Rhonda says she's already booked. So she's already put her registration form in. So that's brilliant. So that's great. And Paul's off on Voyager at the end of September. So I'm sure you'll have a brilliant time. And Sherry said, congratulations on being invited on the podcast. Yeah, we were really chuffed to bits, weren't we, about that? So Google Claire's in the house. Claire is if we got any questions, Claire just knows everything. So John's asking, is there is there a limited number for the group cruise? No, not at the moment. So we're going to see how the first flurry.
How many people does the Sky Princess have?
4,000.
Just over 4,000.
Because that's the limit for the group cruise.
That's the limit.
That's the limit.
There you go.
Reese is asking, with so much content that you have to post with Helen and Marella Voice, would you be able to post more than once a week? But please don't stop the live chats, the highlight of our week. Do you know, Reese, I would love to be able to do that, but I'm the sort of editor out of our couple, and Jerry's the editor out of yours, isn't it? We're concentrates on social media and everything.
Me and Jill are the eye candy, and Jerry are the editor.
And you know, Reese, I would love
heavy weight to bear.
I would love to be able to do more than what we're doing at the moment, but do you know, it's there's just not enough hours in the day, is there? If you want to have a life, and I think I don't want this to become a full-time job, because I retired as a nurse. I've been working as a nurse for 40 years. I want this to be an enjoyable part-time job, which it is. So I think, and I want to, outside of that, like today we went into town, didn't we? And we went to a new restaurant that's opened in Gloucester that was lovely. So we just want times that we don't, every day is not, right, I've got to go to work, I've got to go to work. But we'll always put one out. And if I get on really on top of things, then there will be two. But that's the way I want to approach it, because I want this to be a long journey. I don't want me to work and get burnt out, because I know Jerry. I mean, Jerry's still working full time, aren't you? Well, Jerry does. He's got about 17 hats that he wears in his life. And I don't know how he copes with actually getting all your videos out. I mean, what's your secret of getting all your videos out, Jerry?
Jill doesn't let me sleep. I try to nod off, and she's like, "Wake up! You gotta start editing again."
Get back to that office and do more editing.
It's just it's work all the time. But for me, the editing is an escape away from my regular job, because I can come home and I can edit. And as I'm editing, I'm re-watching and re-experiencing our cruises we've been on. So it's actually an enjoyable thing. So I fill my evenings with feeling like I'm back on. I'm doing the Marella editing right now for day 3 in Bimini, and I feel like Bimini's like I was just there this afternoon type of feeling, because it kind of brings it back for me. So right now for me it's enjoyable, because it's still kind of a hobby. But yeah, I can see in your situation where you wouldn't want it to do all the time.
Yeah. Cruise Boys are here. Hi guys. Make sure you ask a question. Start with a question. This helps PNC see your questions.
Because when, I don't know if you're the same, Jerry, because when sometimes Carole's editing and then she'll just start laughing like the village idiot. And I'll say, "What are you laughing at?" And she won't tell me. But it's usually at my expense, both
I agree.
at that time and when the video comes out.
Yeah. So I do all the editing. He does that, and then I put him in to do all like the voiceovers and stuff, and then he watches it for the first time, and I like that. And then we have a discussion of what should stay and what should remove and whatever. But I know Catherine's saying about the group cruise, it falls in my leave embargo. Oh, that's such a shame. And Cruise Boys, all smash that like button. Yes, please. And I'm sure Tristan and Justin will agree that editing takes up so much time.
I've never found it a problem, to be honest, but
no. Kevin's saying cool merch. Yes, thank you. So hi from Alabama. And Sherry says she's already getting used to
Tanya,
it.
he joined us on our lives on Sunday nights. Yes.
Yeah.
Who's that, Kevin?
Or Cherry.
Sherry.
Tanya. I think Tanya joined us on. I think
Tanya.
from
Tanya.
Alabama.
Oh, from
Yeah.
Alabama. Oh, okay. So Life in the Parks is here. From you're in Austria at the moment, I presume. Oh no, the guest in the A, Austria, Alaska. So yes, and Sherry saying you will love Alaska. Lisa saying, "Yay, Calgary, that's where I live." And Titan is fabulous. Yeah, we're really looking forward to doing a package tour. It'd be interesting to see how Paul copes with, because it's very organized and it's very right. You're doing this now and you're doing that now, 2 days here. So if Paul starts to get a little bit like, no, I'm not doing that.
It just makes me smile that Carole says Paul doesn't like being organized. Every day of my life, I get organized.
Robert Neath, the biggest cruise blogger
in the Channel Islands.
Exactly. He's said about Titan as well. Yeah, they do some great itineraries. A bit like Riviera. Those that use Riviera. Do you have Riviera in Canada? No.
No, I don't think I've ever heard of them. No.
So,
not that we're aware of.
I have a question
for you, Carole.
Sorry.
I have a question for you. I'm wondering if you've decided how many beaver tails you're going to try when you come to Canada.
Oh my God. I forgot about the beaver tail conversation.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine, I don't know how many Canadians. So Kevin's in
the house
in Canada. I don't know.
So don't tell Carole and Paul what they are, guys. Let them experience them on themselves. But I'm thinking when we meet up in Vancouver, we'll go and have beaver tails for dinner that night. Sounds good?
Not sure.
Yeah.
Fine. Come to Canada without doing it.
With some brown sauce.
I think 3 might be my limit.
You have that 23 beaver tails.
Yeah, that's probably good.
I don't know what they are.
You do that curdy stuff as well, don't you, with gravy on? What's that called?
Oh, yeah, that's poutine. We can have poutine with our beaver tails if you like. That would be a good rounded meal.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be a very interesting trip. Oh, dear. So Lisa, in the train's epic. So yeah, we're looking forward to the Rocky Mountain. Have you guys ever done the Rocky Mountaineer? No,
we have not. No. We have to win the lottery first. We looked at the prices of it and we went, okay, maybe later.
It's not.
We've never been to Vancouver, so we'll be seeing it for the first time, like you.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Never been to Vancouver. The farthest west I've been is Alberta. I've never been to BC. Jerry's been to BC, but not Vancouver. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So Graham's saying he just had his Celebrity Beyond cruise cancelled. Let us know why, because that's interesting. Because unless something's going on with the ship or some refurb or something, let's have a look. So yeah, make sure you have lots of memory on your gadgets, isn't it? Because it's yeah, it looks beautiful.
What Carole was trying to say for that was make sure you've got plenty of memory on your cameras, because Banff is so photogenic. I don't know where like the words, just none of the words matched what you were reading.
I know. And Maureen said Saga and Titan have now joined together. Yeah, I think they've always worked closely together, because Saga have the same principle that they pick you up at the house, and that when we did the Saga cruise was brilliant, wasn't it? So let's have a look. See. So Ken's asking, hi guys, your bucket list trip sounds fantastic. Did Paul break any land speed records at Pendine Sands last week?
Yes, I'd love one. I wasn't actually racing on Pendine Sands, but where the track was is on the top of the mountain that overlooks Pendine Sands. But yes, they do have a lot of motorsport actually on the beach, which I've never been to, frustratingly. But that's why anybody who saw any of my Instagram posts, we lost about 2 or 3 hours racing on the Saturday because the fog rolled in off the sea and you couldn't actually see the track. So apparently they wouldn't let us race on that. So yeah, no land speed records, and even on the racing I was doing, there was definitely no land speed records. Because I'm built for comfort, not speed, unfortunately.
You did well.
I was pleased. I was pleased with my performance. It was a British Championship round, and so it was the best cars in the whole of the country, and
wow.
I had about 60 odd in my class, and there's probably 25 lower down the order than me, and I was probably, well, actually, I can tell you, I was the second oldest person racing in my class.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Tell me that.
And probably the fattest.
So Barb is asking, can Dan be used by non-UK residents? Yes, he can, and it depends on what you want to do. So please do. He's on the Sky Princess still. He's back Saturday, isn't he?
Saturday.
He's been on there for 2 weeks. So yeah, so please do get in contact with him because he would love to hear from you. Travel Umbrella saying that they long suffering Mrs. B and I went to Toronto and Niagara Falls for our honeymoon. Love Canada, I'm sure you will too. I went to Toronto years and years ago when I was in my nurse training. My friend was working there as a nanny, and I basically was going through a bit of not a very good time, and I thought I just need to get away, and I went and stayed with her for 2 weeks when she was nannying there, and I loved it. I just remember thinking, oh my God, isn't Toronto clean? But then that was like 1986, so I'm sure it'd be interesting go back, but that's the only time I've been to Canada.
And you didn't try a beaver tail while you were there?
No, I didn't. I didn't even know. No.
She was waiting for you to help her out with one.
Wow.
Are they that big?
And I've committed to 3.
Yes. He's saying you probably won't see penguins or polar bears. But Kevin said Wales. Yes. So there you are.
Hopefully.
Right. Sherry's saying you might be a lot of kids on board because you'll be right in the middle of the US school holidays, 4th of July. Oh, no. Oh, we'll see. We'll be safe in our Neptune suite.
We'll tell our butler to make them keep the noise down.
That's right. So, Jerry, you come and hang out there. So I'm sure we'll have fun. Some parties on that balcony, won't we?
Yes, because we've booked an interior room. We'll probably fit into the size of your closet in your suite.
You are actually in our closet. You haven't even got a cabin.
That's what the interior rooms look like. They put us in the suites in their closets. We'll just iron your clothes for you when you go to bed every night.
Ironing out. So Clinton Tate, he's at home, which is unusual in Saskatchewan, Canada. So
Clinton's usually on the road.
Yeah. In his truck.
He was driving through Vegas the one.
Yeah. He gets
and
all
on his
over
way
the
to
place.
Saskatchewan. Yeah, so he does. Clinton probably drives more in a day than Carole has in the last 15 years.
Yeah, probably. Bob and Holly, you here? It's always lovely to see Holly. Leave it to a SoCal girl. You are stoked, dude. See? We knew what SoCal was, Southern California. We didn't even know that till about.
My son bought me a SoCal shirt about 10 years ago. I had no clue until about 2 months ago. It's probably
wearing it for years.
So Millie said, oh my God, have you won the lottery? Sadly not. We've just saved 40 years to go mad in our retirement, haven't we, Paulie?
We haven't won the lottery,
Nice.
but we have got a £700,000 overdraft at the bank.
No, we haven't. No, we have not.
Well, I figured I could pass that on to my son because that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? Pass them on to your kids.
So let's see. It says, well, with the Royal Suite on the Marella Explore 2 for the Caribbean, it wasn't cheap but well worth it, and it won't be repeated.
No, and that's the thing. I think
you need to try these things, and that's how we feel about the Neptune Suite.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt at the time. But if I get there and it's rubbish, I will. I'll be throwing stuff at penguins.
It looks fab. So Michelle's asking, would we ever do a USA group cruise? Do you know, if our group cruise goes well, then yes, we will be looking at repeating that. We'd like to do it annually is the plan. The Cruise and Canucks, you've got your group cruise, haven't you, come up in February?
In February.
Yeah. So, and yes, we will look for, obviously, other ones. Talking about Canada and New England and group cruises, we're actually booked on Gary Bembridge's group cruise, which is going on the Celebrity Eclipse, Canada and New England. We're hoping to obviously spend some time in Canada around that, and that's September 24. And also, excitingly, Gary's pre-registered for our cruise, which blew our mind. That was like, oh my God. So we're chuffed with that.
On that cruise, there's going to be the best cruise blogger in the world.
Yes.
And Carole and Gary Bembridge is going to be there as well.
But so even if you don't like us, just book our cruise because Gary's there.
He
isn't
said
it?
he's happy to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
He hasn't said
He doesn't say that at all.
No.
He doesn't know
So
he's on the
obviously-
scheduled events.
Love Mr. Canucks fashion commentary on Mrs. Canucks outfit. Yeah, Jill has some fantastic outfits. And yeah, Jerry, sometimes you can see Jill getting quite embarrassed sometimes, isn't it? Because he points, but she's got some fantastic outfits. So yeah, so make sure you watch
Today's a sleeveless dress that looks a little bit like an old 1970s couch. That's today's commentary.
Yeah. He just on a vlog. It looked like I was wearing a sofa or a Chesterfield, is what he called this dress. So there you go.
Tina's asking, how is our little nephew? Yeah, my little nephew's been in hospital with a chest infection, but thankfully he's my great nephew and he's doing well. So thank you, Tina, for asking. We were talking about that on our members live the other night. So
well, Sammy's mum sent us a photo and he was covered in spaghetti.
Yes, we're like, yes.
So I don't know whether that's the medicine they gave him.
No, but
he looks a lot better.
Almost. Yeah, Travel with Johnny and Wilson, they're loving the Cruising Canucks Marella vlogs. Yes. Obviously, Travel with John and Will have got some Marella Voyager content out, so go and check that out. Watch ours first, obviously.
Ours
and
first.
Then watch. But they've got some really good content out too.
And every time they say so it is, you have to give them a thumbs up.
Exactly. So people are asking about getting from Heathrow to Southampton. You can take the National Express coach direct from Heathrow to Southampton. Yes, you can.
Is that for our group cruise? Because I'm happy to pick anybody up, to be honest, from the airport. It's £500
no, for our group cruise as well. We plan to be in Southampton for a couple of days before and after, so we can obviously make sure we catch up with everyone that stays pre and post. Does Marella only do flight cruise, and how does it compare to Princess Drinks package? Well, from a UK base, it's only fly cruises, but you book directly then to do your cruise only?
Yeah.
So on the Marella website, if you look very closely under cruise deals, they offer cruise only prices, and that's what we did. We did the cruise only prices, and I don't think they do it for every cruise. I think they do it for cruises that maybe they haven't sold out of yet, and they're looking for more opportunities to fill it with more people. So I think, because I didn't see every cruise in there, just a few. So
yeah.
So I think that's the secret, yeah. And how does it compare to Princess Drinks package? Well, what do you think?
Well, one of the reasons why we booked Marella the week we did, we were looking between Marella and Celebrity, and Marella was much more affordable. So I thought it was, we got a very good deal for our money, for sure.
I think, yeah, probably the least expensive cruise that we've taken with the drinks package. Mm-hmm. And considering the quality of the cruise, it was well worth it. It was amazing. Yes, I would compare it to Princess in some areas of entertainment.
Yes.
And definitely of the drink options were pretty well the same as anywhere else. They're a little bit different, a lot more beer than I'm used to.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah.
A few less cocktails than what normally I'm used to. There is a limited selection, I would say, of cocktails, but not like I was struggling to find a drink, but there were a few less available.
Yes.
But obviously with Marella, they're all inclusive anyway. So it's just whether you want to upgrade to that premium. Because on the Voyager, what they've done, which is new to Marella, is a lot of individual bars have specialty cocktails that are exclusive to that particular bar, which I don't recall. I know that when we did Discovery, I know that when you went to bar 11, they did like the smoky cocktails and stuff like that. But pretty much apart from that, everywhere else you went, you could get this cocktail, that cocktail, etc. But on the Voyager, like the nightclub on there, which is the Electric Rooms, they've got, I think it's called Bar Wizards, and they've got a list of cocktails, but they're only available at that venue.
Yeah.
And then if you go to the Exchange, they've got cocktails that are only available at that venue.
So they are doing that. Sorry, I was going to say they are doing that on the Discovery now. Like when we were in the live room, their specialty cocktails all came in a mason jar, and that you only got them in that one. The live club had its specialty, the Pig and Anchor. Is that right? That's the name.
Squid.
Had it.
The pig.
Yeah, my cruise lines messed up. Pagan Anchor's a different cruise line, see? But anyways, they all did have that. So they had 2 menus. You could ask for each. They had a regular menu that was in every single bar, and then they had a specialty menu. So if I asked for a menu, I was usually given 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found as well, because there was no Bloody Marys on the menus anywhere, if you just ask for sort of cocktails, they would make it. So I had Bloody Marys wherever I went. And the barman were like, yeah, what do you want? You know, if we've got it, we can mix it all together. They were brilliant, weren't they? Which you don't get on some. I tried that on P&O, and it was like banging my head against a brick wall.
Just hard work.
It was
really.
Yeah. So I said, if they had tomato juice, they had lime, they had vodka, they had Worcester sauce, they had Tabasco, but they wouldn't put it all together. So I had to ask for a tomato juice, a vodka, and then I said, in the vodka, do you mind just putting a splash of Worcester sauce? Oh yeah, I can do that. I said, we'll just throw it all in together. Oh no, we don't do Bloody Marys.
So they wouldn't even pour
the
tomato juice in with the vodka. They delivered it, you know, like, well, you have to do that yourself now. It's like,
it was mad.
But so Canada, I don't know if you know, Carole, but Canadians' national drink, guess what it is?
Is it a Bloody Mary? Is it really?
A Caesar. So it's Clamato juice. It's a Caesar, though. But that's what it is. So you'll have to have a few of those while you're here.
Yeah, a Clamato. What's a Clamato?
Yeah, so it's the same as tomato juice, but it's made with clam juice. But it tastes the same to me. But most people prefer it. But yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, Bloody Marys and beaver tails. Woo! I don't know why I'm whooping about beaver tails, so I have no idea. I'm sure they're going to be something bizarre.
Of course,
anyway, cruisers were asking, are Jill and Jerry coming back for the 80s versus 90s Marella cruise?
Oh, that would be awesome. Yes, we would love that.
My dance moves are right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Terry, just remember, I dressed as Britney Spears when I went on the Marella cruise. So.
Yeah. There you go.
Sadly, we can't make the one, can we? Because we've got Queen Anne booked, and we're gutted about that because it was so much fun.
When is it?
When is it? When is it, Tristan? It must be in May 2024. Because no, it's not. When are we on Queen Anne?
Mate, if you've got to ask me stuff, then there's no
Tristan,
hope.
let us know.
Tell us when it is, Tristan.
Sandra's here. Woo! Sandra lives in Melbourne, in Australia.
22.
Oh, Sandra was one of the lovely people that came to meet us in Melbourne, and we had such a laugh. Oh, thank you, Sandra. It's so lovely to see you here. And I hope you get to have an afternoon nap, so I think you're going to need one. So...
Because Alfie's put, if you go up to Alfie about
Alfie? UK passports have
because
that's,
that's the weird thing. When you were saying about the passports, and like Alfie's just pointed out, they actually write the name of the month in. So
they do.
So it's not all numbers. So it will be like the 25th of September or the 9th of June. And so, but it's weird that they can't get your passports to work, but every other cruise line that we go on, which isn't a British cruise line, there's never any issues. Apart from my new passport. I had a new passport, and everywhere I go now, I have issues.
Yeah.
And it's they're there and they're looking at it and they're all talking and it's just like they're scratching their heads and they're pressing buttons, and eventually, begrudgingly, they give me my passport. And then when we went to Spain, we went to get with like side by side at 2 different desks. Carole's like, bang, there you go, through. He's like, tappy tap tap, bang, I'm through. And I go through and I'm just about to hand my passport to Carole. She said, oh my God, mate, I can't believe your passport's finally worked properly for the first time. And then all of a sudden, the guy came out of the booth. Excuse me. He took my passport back off me and went back in the booth. And I was thinking, oh, for God's sake, what the bloody hell's going on?
Don't swear.
It's bloody in this. All right, he said, Bloody Mary. Remember that? Yeah. He said, Bloody Mary, what's going on now? And then he was in there another 10 minutes and then came out, oh, sorry. And off I went. So
we don't know what the glitch was.
Now.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know about that. Now, Travel Umbrella is asking an interesting question for both couples. Did your respective YouTube channels just gradually grow, or was there a boom moment when it exploded into what they are now?
Ours has been a gradual, I would think, for sure. I can't pinpoint a big boom. It's been a gradual increase every month. There's more followers than the month before, which we're so thankful for. So yeah, it's been gradual.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a big, video that's gone viral that all of a sudden brought a bunch of traffic. Ours has been very steady over the last year and a half, almost 2 years now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think ours is much the same. The one blip we did have, a good blip, was when we put the Celebrity Beyond Infinite balcony cabin out, and that sort of went a little bit mad. It's had over 250,000 views now.
Wow.
Because we obviously said never again, and we didn't like it, which caused so many people to the amount of comments we had about that was well, a lot of people agree with this, but there's a lot of people that didn't. It's interesting because Emma Cruz is currently on Celebrity Edge, and she's got the same cabin, and I messaged her and said, how's it going? She said, interesting cabin. So I'll be interested to see her review when she comes back. So so that actually I think gave us a little bit of a I think certain YouTube's a strange beast. I think you just need to, from what I know, which isn't a lot, I think you just need to turn up every week, work hard, get your videos out, make them the best that you possibly can, be consistent, work hard with growing a community around that. I think what's been so lovely and what I love the most about being where we are now with our YouTube channel is not actually potentially YouTube. It's we now have, obviously, we are Patreon YouTube members, which we, that's just a magical place to be because everyone's just so lovely. But also on our Facebook page, our Instagram, even a little bit on Twitter. Not so much on Twitter because Twitter's a funny old place, but Instagram and Facebook, it's just so lovely that the same people come back and comment, and it's building that community around you. I think is the most important thing for you to do to move forward. Don't focus on numbers, how many views or subscribers, just focus on building that community around you, and that's been the most rewarding thing. Otherwise,
I agree.
You need to be willing to put the videos out even if nobody's going to watch it, that you're happy with it yourself, you enjoy doing it, and then from there people will see that authenticity and they'll want to be part of your world.
For us, one of the bonuses is we live in a very small community in northern Canada, and the population in the town we live in is 200 people. And so we don't have a lot of friends here that have the same joy of cruising as we do. So having this channel has allowed us to sort of meet people that are enthusiastic about travel and cruising as we are. And so we feel like we've met friends like you guys that we sort of have the same mindset. And so that's just been like the biggest bonus personally, not on a business standpoint, but personally.
And it's fabulous. It's like on the weekend, because I went away racing, and Carole said, "Oh, put some stuff on Instagram, put some stuff on Discord." And I'm thinking, well, nobody's going to want to hear about, I'm going away, and it's all like, boys with toys and what have you. And the response that I got on Discord, and I have to say, mostly the most response I got was probably from the women on Discord.
Yeah, well,
Kevin, obviously, Kevin was all over it because he's a car nut anyway. But the lovely comments I had from Sherry and people like that are just wishing me good luck and everything. And somebody put a comment on like, when's Paul racing again, which is actually I'm racing on Sunday. But it was just lovely, and we've just got this lovely community. And I say it all the time. Thursday when Carole's like, "Oh, we're going to do a live," I said, do I really have to do that? And now it's probably my favorite.
When you started,
yeah, when we started,
we were nervous about that.
Well, I wasn't nervous about it. I just thought, but it's now genuinely one of my favorite times of the week is our live, and it's like again, it flighted what we've been on for nearly an hour already, and it just flies. Yeah, 50. It just flies.
Wow, yeah.
But yeah, so that's so Travel Umbrella. That's just keep doing what you're doing, and just build a good community. But most of all, enjoy it. Don't try and copy what other people do. Just be you, because I think that's the most important thing. I think why, but we continue to grow is because we don't pretend to be something we're not, and unfortunately. A lot of people out there that pretend to be something they're not, and people want to see the real you, and you need to be relatable.
I bust out this quote about once every 6 months: be yourself because everybody else is taken.
Yeah. Boom.
Do you know who said that? I got no idea.
Anyway, let's
That
go with
wasn't
the
me.
comments. So John's saying, Mr. and Mrs. C, don't ask for spotted dick.
Oh.
Ah,
Do you know what
do
spotted
you know
dick
what that
is?
is?
Look on
I do.
No, do you? I have
Yeah.
no idea. That sounds
Oh.
scarier than beaver tail to me. Just saying.
I think it's a pudding.
It is a spotted dick is the most wonderful sponge pudding that's got sultanas or raisins in it. So it's like a hot
Nice.
sponge pudding that you have custard over, and it is beautiful. I've got a feeling that beaver tail won't be as nice as spotted dick.
It'll be close.
Lou's supposed to say editing takes so long. It does. It does. So Lou's asking, question for Jerry and Jill, what did you think about the food on Marella as it caters for British predominantly? How does it compare to other ships?
Oh, I mean, we had some wonderful meals on it. There were almost every night, at least one thing that we didn't have a clue what it was. And so we had to read the description. And if we were in the buffet, I definitely Googled probably every time I went to the buffet about one food. But overall, I mean, it was pretty normal for what a Canadian person would eat. There wasn't anything. What I loved the best for me personally was all the puddings, because there was every day some sort of bread pudding with a sauce. I'm sure, you know, the scales don't lie. And it was all because of that sauce, because I had it every day for sure.
No, I think we really enjoyed the food. It took us a while to figure out what everything was and where it was, and it was kind of interesting because the buffet was different. Kind of, like one day we went there, we had, what was it, chopped beef and Guinness pie is what it was. We thought for sure that had to be something really suspicious, like there had to be like organs in it, like liver or
I was afraid of a kidney pie. That was my biggest fear. So of course, anytime I saw a pie, I Googled to make sure there was no like liver or kidney in it.
And it was actually one of the best things I ate on board. It was actually like chopped up little pieces of steak with Guinness beer as kind of a sauce and a pudding. It was delicious.
Yeah.
So it was a learning curve, but we loved it. Yeah.
Paul's favourite pie is steak and kidney.
Oh yeah, you can't do that. I can't imagine.
So I'm gonna make this suitable for children's ears. The first time me and Carole ever went out for a meal.
You can't say that.
No, I'm gonna be fine. We went out for a meal.
He worries me when he opens his mouth.
And because I've been drinking, I've had one cider, and so Carole ordered her meal, and then the waitress said, "And what would you like?" I said, "I'll have the steak and kidney pie." So she wrote down steak and kidney pie and she walked away. And then Carole looked across the table at me and said, "Oh, just think of all the wee that's been through that kidney."
Yeah.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't eat organs.
And it never put me off, and it never will.
Oh wow!
But beef and Guinness
Oh.
pie is like, you can get a beef and ale pie, but beef and Guinness, any real ale is fantastic to make the gravy.
Yeah.
with.
It's very like so much you got too.
Sorry, Jerry's asking, how can a Yankee from the US get on a Marella cruise in Europe? My TS is impossible. But if you've just joined us, Jimmy, Jerry and Jill have been talking about that, and they're obviously going to bring out a video of how it's done from a Canadian point of view. So stay tuned with that, because we can't go through the whole process.
Yeah, but
on
if
this
you
live.
It is possible. We did it.
check out the Cruising Canucks, get on there, get subscribed to their channel, and they'll explain how to do it.
Exactly that. Luby said, would you do your own podcast? Think you'd be brilliant. Do you know, it has gone through my head, but I can't cope with what we've got going on at the moment. We're trying to keep up with everything. But people love podcasts, don't they? Mm-hmm. So Melanie's saying, love these lives. I'm in Boston. Oh, we're heading to Boston next September, aren't we?
We are.
So Phil's asking, does being a logger spoil a cruise holiday? I'm sure he means vlogger.
I don't know.
Because
I was talking about the lumberjack show.
Yeah. You have to find a balance, and it took us a while to get a balance of work and play. But once you suss that, which I think we've sussed it now, haven't we?
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
Carole said to me the other night, "Do you want to crack on with that vlog then, mate?" I said, "No, because it's 10:05 at night."
No, spoil it on a cruise holiday.
Oh, on a cruise holiday? No, on a cruise,
yeah,
when we're on holiday,
no.
yeah. But yes, it's I think if you put some work in while you're on board to try and get some stuff in the can, which is, that's a professional term as vloggers use.
Is that right, Jerry? No.
All the time.
It means it's less for when you get home. But if you're just, like, I gotta be honest, when we did Marella, we did like properly put in a shift. Johnny and Will will tell you the same. I mean, they were getting content out before us, which was very annoying.
Well,
But
no.
it wasn't. But
No.
we did probably more filming than we've ever done. We went to every restaurant, which we've never done on a cruise before. We tried to do lots of stuff because it was a new ship, and we probably put in more work on that ship than any cruise we've ever done. But normally, there has to be, as soon as it starts becoming a chore, it's no good. It's no good to mon or beast.
Yes, exactly that. Robert's just saying the time it takes to edit videos, one of the main reasons I've stuck to blogging rather than vlogging. Love your blogs, you do too. Yeah, because we've got the website as well, and which takes a lot of people think that you just do YouTube videos, but obviously on top of that you've got all the website, which Paul does do a lot now, which is brilliant. You've got every day on social media, so it's sometimes before I get to editing videos, it's about 3 hours have gone because I've been doing other things. But there we are.
3 hours have gone because Jerry's trying to teach her how to put a banner up on our live.
No. We have beaver tails last year. Lindsay liked them. I wasn't good. They should make sure you wipe them clean. Cheers, Ken. That hasn't really inspired. I used to like Ken, to be honest, but oh my God, that sounds bizarre. Chris is here. Good to see the cruise Canucks with you. Yes, it is. Who's just said that they've done the Grand Rail Circle on Rocky Mountain here? And Claire's saying that beaver tail with Putin beats liver and onions is the worst meal ever.
Oh no.
And Graham's saying, the Celebrity Beyond have been cancelled. The ship's being relocated to the Caribbean. Oh, really?
So the Epic Norwegian's doing that too.
Yeah, Norwegian Epic's doing the same thing. They've canceled all the European and they're picking to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I wonder what they'll be sending to the Med then. That'll be interesting. I wonder if it'll be.
Ken's just put that as well.
Ken's just saying as well.
Yeah, a lot of them are doing that.
Wow.
That's no good for us. We love cruising in Europe, so that's sad that there's less options for us.
They normally replace it with another ship from the fleet because they do juggle them around sometimes, don't they? Because we were hoping that some different ships from like MSC and Celebrity and that were going to come to the UK, and they are mixing up a bit, but not as much as we would like, isn't it? Really, we've just been on the Love boat, Princess. So Ken said you must come and watch you race. You do race in their neck of the woods sometime.
Well, the last British Championship round, no, not the last one now, because there was one cancelled. The 4th British Championship round, Ken, in September, is at a place called Beerley in Somerset. So it'd be interesting to know if you know that. I mean, it's a place that me and Ken were born to live at because it's called Beerley.
Exactly.
But you know what that is? That's where I'm racing in September.
I don't know where it is.
Well, you do know where it is because that's the track that put you into retirement. Because
I used to race, but I rolled the car too many times.
The last time Carole raced at Beerley Raceway, she rolled the car. And it was a British Championship round, and it wasn't
my fault, though, was it?
No, it wasn't Carole's fault. She was fantastic, to be fair. When she started racing, she was properly rubbish, and then she got to grips with stuff, and she was making all the British Championship finals. And then she made this one final, and somebody crashed into her, and she rolled. And it was a brand new car that we built for the weekend, and we straightened it all out with big hammers and stuff. And then she went out in the rerun, and she rolled it end over end, and like wheels flew off it, and we had to put it on the trailer with a crane. And then Carole decided maybe this racing's not for me.
Yeah, I think then because up to then I hadn't had any big hits, and when I had those big hits, it scared me. And I think with racing, it's like anything. If you've got then fear, and every time I'd be sat on the line waiting for the bungee to go, I would start hyperventilating. My goggles would start steaming up. I couldn't see. And I was thinking, this is, and then I'd finish the race, and I think, I'm so glad that's over. And I thought, why am I racing? If that's how I feel, I should be coming in there buzzing and really enjoying it. So that's
Which
when
she
I
did
for years. I did for
And
years, but
she did
but-
one meeting after that, and she raced.
yeah,
And she came in after, and she took her helmet off, and she said, "I couldn't wait for
yeah,
that race to be over."
yeah,
And that was it.
yeah.
And she never
Wow.
raced again.
But
And to be fair, she never raced again. But the maintenance on the car, I mean, it saved me thousands.
Grace is asking the cruise monkeys on the group cruise. We haven't heard that they are. Obviously, we talk to the cruise monkeys a lot. So we'd love them to come, but we don't know. I think with a lot of vloggers, and that is too far in advance to plan, because you never know what's gonna pop up. So Sherry's saying all you vloggers on the group cruise will have to spread out.
Yeah.
So John said, any truth in the rumor about the party at Paul and Carole's come on the second night and Paul is buying drinks?
Well, you don't ever believe rumors.
And it's good to see cruising from the Canucks point of view. Yes. Always good, because everyone, even though you do the same cruise, you always have a different opinion, don't you, because of one of your previous experiences and your expectations, and everyone, it's like some people, particularly in the vlogging world, I think the cruising vlogging world is a wonderful, wonderful place. We've met so many fantastic people, and some people treat it as a bit of a competition, and I don't like that. I think because there's room for everyone out there, because everyone describe things in a different way, and if I was not vlogging, I would watch all the videos that were out there, because everyone gives a unique perspective. Unfortunately, some people do find it that's, it is a competition,
It's
but
not
for
a
us,
competition,
it's not.
but obviously we're the best.
No. But there are, to be fair, there's been some things on Instagram lately that have been people celebrating their wins, but also being derogatory to other vloggers, and I find that really hurtful and not nice. And we would never ever do that. So. But the majority of people in the vlogging world are lovely. So you would about to say something, Jill, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, we have so many people asking our opinion, and I keep telling them it's our opinion. We're not experts by any means, right? And so what we see or experience could be different from when you get on a ship and experience something. So we can tell you what happened to us, but by no means are we experts. We just want you to see how fun cruising can be.
And then, for example, we've been watching some of your Carnival celebration vlogs, and your perspective of things getting on that ship for the first time was totally different than our take on Carnival. So it was fascinating to see the different viewpoint.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that was our first, but how many Carnival cruises? You've done loads, haven't you?
24
cruises with Carnival. Yeah.
So
we grew up with Carnival. That's how I say it.
Yeah. Sherry's saying she wants you to bring a Britney Spears costume on the group cruise.
Is that for you to wear, Cherry? I'll bring it if you wear it.
And Lynn saying, where is Crown Royal made, Jerry?
Saskatchewan.
No, it's made in I can't remember the small town's name. No, in Manitoba.
Oh, Manitoba. I'm close. It's a province beside each other.
Yep.
Manitoba.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I'm all out.
Oh,
me.
Yeah. So Cameron's asking, we didn't do the casino. Losing my cruise vision in September. How does the casino work? Real cash or charge the cabin? It all had
there's no
cash that we saw when we were in the electric rooms when people were playing. It seemed that they were tapping cards and stuff, weren't they?
We
didn't do it ourselves, so
can you use cash in casinos on ships? I don't know if you can. Jerry will tell you. He's a big gambler.
No, he's not.
We've never lost cash, but we only ever use the ship card. But we've lost.
I don't recall.
I've never seen one.
I'm trying to think, and I'm getting confused with Las Vegas now.
Yeah,
in my brain. So we'll have to find that out, Carole.
Cruise Boys 3rd of May is
Oh yeah, Queen Anne's 3rd of May. Yeah,
so that'll be when
I think the Electric Sunsets is probably the 5th or 6th. So
there you go.
We've been looking for a European cruise in the spring of 24, so that's not out of the possibility.
That might be in the realm. Yeah, that would be fun. We'd be up
so Lisa's saying better than tomato juice, or try a pickled bean cider. A pickled bean cider.
Yes, I have some of those in my bar fridge downstairs right now. We'll have to get you trying one of those.
No, you won't.
So let's
So if
see.
you go back to sherry, because he's on
Sherry's, which
with
one?
that one there, like clamato or Worcester sauce. Just interesting fact for sherry: Worcestershire sauce
Yes,
is Worcester is the next county up from where we live,
in Gloucestershire.
and my Nat, who was on earlier talking about
Nat the
Eddie
skier
Eagle,
from Calgary.
she lives in Worcester. Her husband Alan looks after my race car, and they're in Worcestershire.
Yeah. Cruise Missy, just a quick reminder to hit the like button. Janet's saying she loves Banff. Yeah, I can't wait to get to Banff.
Oh, it's beautiful.
We're not at the Banff Springs Hotel. We're at the Royal Canadian Lodge. It looks very nice, but
Yeah,
It's gorgeous. You'll love it. Yeah.
is it made of wood? Is it a real lodge?
Real lodge? Yeah, I believe it is like a lodge type one. I know. Well, I know the one at Jasper isn't. It's beautiful brick, gorgeous. But
Crimson.
yeah,
The Crimson Hotel was staying at Jasper. Yeah. So there's people saying great advice for YouTube. So thank you very much. And Sherry saying, Jill, your dress does not look like made it out of couch.
Thank you.
The were saying about the Infinite Veranda on Beyond. They weren't fussed on it either. They broke the IKEA style blind. Yeah, there was a blind. It was just so noisy, and you had to lift the blind up to then open the window. And being short, I couldn't see out the window unless I stood on a chair. And then the room got all hot, and it was just, you know, the principle's great, and for some people they love it, but for us it just didn't work. So let's see what else we got. Oh, Winnie's asking, are you happy with the Spurs' new signing, James Maddison?
James Maddison is an awesome signing for Spurs, and I'm shocked that he's gone to Tottenham, to be honest, because obviously Newcastle, with all their oil money, trying to be diplomatic, were trying to sign him. So I'm very surprised, but very pleased that he's gone to Spurs. So as long as they can hang on to Harry Kane, I think we'll definitely finish in the top 15 in the Premier League.
I'm just looking at the time, but I'm happy to continue if you guys are, because there's lots of questions still. Yeah,
sure, go for it.
Jerry doesn't do British football, but because when we were talking, I said I was a Spurs fan. In solidarity, he said he's going to be a Spurs fan too. So he's looking into all the facts and figures. But there was this one day where I was watching the Tottenham game on a live stream because it wasn't on the telly, and the live stream was about 2 minutes behind the actual game. And then Jerry sent me a message saying, "Yay, Harry Kane scored! He's going to win it for us." I was 2 minutes behind, and so I was really annoyed but really pleased all at the same time. So I had to say to Jerry, always message me to say, are you watching the football before you send me a message? So yeah, but yeah, so
I would have never guessed that in Canada we were seeing the results faster than you.
Yeah, but I think because the live, I don't want to say too much about this live stream I was watching it on, but yeah, it was a few minutes behind. But
let's see. Who's saying?
Oh no!
Oh no way!
Well,
I have people at work giving me scarves for Premier Football. I don't think it's the right team yet, right?
No. Oh, Holly was in the stream because he's a Man United fan.
But so if you need something to start a fire with, you've got two things right there that are doing the job.
Who's going to say people who enjoy content and your personality? Well, most people think I'm a bit loony. Oh no, they're not. But yeah, that's quite right. You've just got to just be you. People are loving the steak and kidney pie.
Of course, the steak.
And Sue's asking, how much did you buy in B&M for your holiday? We put a post on. Sometimes, you put cruise-related content and travel-related content on your social media. I think sometimes it's just nice. People just want to know what you do a little bit behind the scenes and at home. And there's a B&M shop in England, which is a bit like a sort of it sells all sorts. You could get something for the garden, you could get a toy, you could get a scented candle, a bit like
a pot of paint, a tin of soup.
Exactly. And it reminded me of my childhood of Woolworths. So we had a great debate on social media about childhood memories in shops that you used to go to and have the pick and mix sweets. And so,
did you ever have Woolworths in Canada?
We did, yeah. And then Walmart took over those stores when they went out of business. Became
Because
Walmart.
Woolworths is still going in Australia.
Is it?
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Not in Canada.
But no, I didn't buy much for the holiday, but I bought birdseed and some fat balls for the birds.
I find it quite scary that you had to point that out. What's for tea? I need fat balls.
Sandra's asking, well, I can't believe that you're doing the same trip as my hubby and I'm doing for our golden win anniversary in 2025. Well, watch this space, Sandra, because we could tell you obviously the do's and do nots. Lots of people are saying, don't buy a cauliflower in Canada. They're so expensive. Really?
Well, they were for a while.
We've had some random stuff on here, from Angel's Delight to I can't remember what the other random thing was, but
Green Shield
stamps. But prices of cauliflowers have never come up before now. So, Jill,
I just had to FaceTime my mother yesterday and complain about the price of the produce when I went to the grocery store this week. I'm like, can you believe I spent this much on a piece of whatever? Produce has definitely gone up, but so is everything in the last few years.
How much is a cauliflower?
I don't know, because I don't eat cauliflower, to be honest with you. I can't stand it.
We haven't bought it in years.
Really?
But I did hear people saying it had gone up quite a bit. But I just bought a turnip. Now, you guys don't call it turnip in Europe. We had that conversation when we were on the ship with you. Anyways, used to cost me $1 or $2. Now I paid $7 for one yesterday.
In England, a turnip is a small white and pink root vegetable. I think you're on about what we call swede, a big sort of root vegetable that's a bit yellowy.
And you call it
it's around the size of softball. Jerry's going to show you guys now. See, because like I said, $1 or $2 it used to be. Now it's $7 yesterday when I went to the grocery store. Here it is. Here's my turnip.
That's
going in the soup.
I call this a rutabaga.
That's what you
a rutabaga.
Yeah.
No, we call that a swede, as in SWEDE, and that costs what?
80p.
About £1 in our supermarket. Yeah.
No, so, I couldn't get over the
that's
cost of
crazy.
it.
$7.
And what'd you do with that? Mash it with butter?
Well, yes, you can, but I like to put it in soups and stews, and that's why I bought it. I was planning on making some homemade soup this week, and so I wanted it for that. But and I'll put it in the slow cooker with a roast and potatoes and carrots and onions and that sort of thing too. So at that cost, I can't believe the difference, the price of it.
No, that's mad. So Melanie's asking, which software do each of you use for editing? Is this what you started with, or have you graduated? Well, I'll start because I still use iMovie, and I know that I need to move on, but my brain can't cope with learning something new at the moment. I just think that I haven't got the time to do that, and I know I should. And I know Jerry will come in with something because we were only talking about this the other day.
Yeah, we've just changed over this year to DaVinci Resolve. It did a much better job for handling all the different audio with microphones and cameras and different things like that. It was better for more complex. It's harder to learn than iMovie. I used something similar to iMovie, a PC version of that before. But DaVinci Resolve, it's a long learning curve, but it's worth it when you finally get to the point where you have the skills to be able to use it. But it took me probably a month, 6 weeks to be able to figure out how to use it to be able to make the vlogs, and at a time when I didn't have that much time to learn something new.
He wasn't a happy boy for a few weeks trying to learn it. But when you're vlogging, like we are using 3 cameras now, depending on what we're doing, and then microphones, it worked out in the long run. It's way easier.
It's made it faster now. Now we learned it.
We learned it. I don't have a clue how to do it.
We found when we started chatting that we've enjoyed cruising more as it pushes us to try more of the venues and activities on board compared than what we've ever done before. We had that conversation on New Amsterdam, didn't we? And Jill, I remember you saying that
Jerry is the one that says that that's definitely how he feels about it. I'm like, as long as it doesn't change me too much. But we're seeing things that we never would have taken part in before just because of our own sort of personal interest. And then we're like, oh, I'm glad we went to film this because we absolutely love it. So it's been positive in that way for us.
Yeah. You do discover more, don't
I
you,
don't
I
want,
think.
I don't want to put anybody off Jill because she is a lovely lady, but she says that tea is horrible.
Yes.
What?
Tea.
Cup of
The
tea.
cup of tea
Cup of tea.
is horrible.
But I
And when
have to
Jerry
say,
made
I
her
went-
drink, when Jerry made you drink tea, you acted like a petulant child.
it's awful. So, but Marella does it right because we went to their specialty tea and they gave me a tea cocktail and it was delicious. I had no problem
There you
having
go,
two of those.
Oh. Trouble Lizzie Lou's just saying that the accent is in the med. So that's the new celebrity ship. So that's why Beyond's going to the Caribbean. Yes, yes, I do. I remember now because we looked, didn't we? The prices were pretty
Bananas.
Try and put photos out. What is poutine?
So poutine is French fries, deep fried chips, and gravy and cheese curds. Those are the basic things. And then from there, you can build on top of it. There's hundreds of different flavors. Some puts like a roast beef on it. Some people put a spaghetti sauce on it, whatever. But a classic poutine is deep fried French fries with gravy, like a beef gravy, and melted cheese curds on it.
You put the cheese curds on the French fries first, and then you add the hot gravy because it melts the cheese curds a little bit, and it's nice and stringy when you pull apart the French fries.
It's very
Wow.
delicious.
I think I'd like that.
Yeah, you would.
I think I'm not sure about you.
They're all like shop.
Well, trouble with Johnny was saying we all worked hard on Voyage. Yes, you did.
Well, some more than others.
And Cruise Boys are saying yes. Make sure you subscribe. Yes, please do because they have some.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
She's like, Carole used to race. Yes, I did. Scottus is saying Carole just needs a Tesla. We went up north. Scottus took us out, and we had such a lovely day. And he's got a Tesla, and I loved it with a big computer in the front.
And he's got a Tesla that virtually drives itself, apart from you have to park it in the supermarket. Isn't that right, Scottus?
Yeah, that was funny. Right. So it's not. Chris is saying, Carole, sorry to need to correct you, but Captain Simon Love is now on Aurora. Did I say Simon Love? Did I talk about Captain?
No, I don't even.
Don't know. Oh, okay. Blimey, Carole race. Yeah, I was quite good, wasn't I?
It could have been a contender.
We want video proof of that. We want to see that.
I have got video.
He has got video
I have
proof.
got video
actually.
proof. I've got a video of actually her. At the end of every season, they have a crash video, which comes out, and they're shown in order of their awesomeness.
Yeah.
And Carole's crash was the second on the video.
Oh, that's awful.
The first one was absolutely spectacular. The second one, but they only showed Carole's second roll. So I think because she'd rolled twice that day, she should have had top spot. But it was quite. And what made it more spectacular was on the roof of the car that it was a brand spanking new car that we'd built for that weekend, and we'd painted a Union Jack on the roof. And me and my brother were on the line, and because she'd already had quite a big crash, we're like, well, obviously what she's going to do is when the bungee goes up, she's going to let everybody go, and she's just going to tootle around, and, you know, because she's obviously shook up for the first crash. But when the bungee went up, she was right on it. But then again, somebody else hit her and put her sideways, and then another car hit her flat out. And I just remember watching and seeing this Union Jack just revolving like a rotisserie chicken. And even the commenter said, "Oh no, not again, Carole Morgan Slater." And when you watch the video, one of the back wheels flew off, and it's like, when did that come off? Because we got to the car and there's like wheels missing. Where's the wheels gone?
Thankfully, I only bruised my elbow.
Yeah.
So
very lucky. Yeah.
So Natalie is now saying, I read your grace at the well until your race seat shrank. This is Natalie's niece that we said earlier, and she goes racing obviously with Paul, and she was racing the car and has done for years since I retired. But the race seat shrank now.
Yeah. I've done that as well. See,
Vicky's also, have you raced at Hendersford?
I haven't, but I've been there many times.
That's where the banger racing is.
Yeah, but I've never raced there, but I've been there many times. Natalie, the last question on her husband's race there.
Yeah,
but I've never raced there. But that's more like a tarmac circuit, so it's a different sort of racing.
You heard you got the Sky Suite for the group cruises. Bevis on your balcony. I wish.
If we've got the Sky Suite, then yes, Bevis on balcony.
We booked a mini.
Yeah, we haven't booked it, but I figured that Princess are going to give us that, aren't they?
No. So let's see. Cruise Boys is saying a good way of seeing different vloggers' points of view, which it is because everyone approaches things differently, don't they?
Yeah.
Scott is asking in the comments, has anyone done Island Princess? If you can give him any
Not us.
advice, and that'll be fine. And Cruising Gaze, you can use cash in the Princess casinos.
There you go.
And Sherry first saying, well, the Canucks can bring Chrome Raw for everyone on the group cruise.
There you go.
Hey!
We need a case or two.
Marianne's just saying a bit about Azamara. We had a great cruise for Island on Azamara. She said the food service excellent. To your point, we had one request for guest reserve services that was completely ignored. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Azamara is so good in so many ways, and we get so many emails still now saying actually it was absolutely fantastic. We had no issues with guest relation, but we still get probably one email a month now, don't we? Since it's saying actually we've got these issues. So
they've got so many good staff, but the bad staff they got are so in like the wrong position because that's the face of the cruise line, and on Quest they were just
but
and it wasn't like isolated, it was the whole of the guest relations team. And like I said, I felt sorry. I mean, we had a bad time, but I felt sorry. I might have said this before, and I'm going to say it again regardless. But when we went to the island where the quokkas were, what was that called? The island
from Perth.
There was a little island that where we were docked, you could get a ferry over to this island, and it was a 10-minute walk from where we were docked. And then we went over and we saw the quokkas, and it's just beautiful. Like they're like a little sort of cross between like a giant rat and like a kangaroo-y type thing, and they're actually quite cute, cuter than they sound. So we went over, we spent some hours on this island, got back, and then we were talking to some people in the evening, and we said, oh yeah, we went to so-and-so island, can't remember the name of it. And they said, oh yeah, we wanted to do that, but we went to reception and they said it was an hour and 40-minute taxi ride to the port where the ferry went from, and we walked to the port in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just stuff like that. Their knowledge, it was almost like they were running a competition to see who could annoy passengers the most. Because to say no knowledge of ports whatsoever, and like I said, that was, and of course these people might never go back there.
Yeah.
So they're never going to get our opportunity again.
But from a food point of view, from a small ship experience of
food, entertainment,
service was amazing.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Apart from obviously that group. But anyway, look, we're going on crazy time, so let's have a look to see.
We are.
Imagine how we've been talking for so long. Bella's asking any more plans for another Virgin cruise. They're coming to Australia. I'd love to do another one. Paul doesn't want to do one. I reckon you guys should try one because I think Jerry's
Jerry doesn't want to go. Carole, it might be a girls' trip cruise.
Oh, yes, we could do a girly weekend one. That'd be awesome.
Oh, Jerry, I can't spend the weekend with you if you're going to talk about cameras and stuff, man. We'll just talk about football, Spurs all weekend.
We'll go to a game.
The Saga cruises have mostly British food. A lot, yes, but no, they have some fantastic specialty restaurants.
Saga's got two of the best Asian fusion restaurants I've been to, and I'm not talking on a cruise, I'm talking ever in my life, has been Tamarind on Holland America, which we went to with Jerry and Jill, which was absolutely fantastic. And the other one was Kukuri, which is on the Saga ships. Absolutely spectacular. So not all British food, but yeah, they do a lot of British food, but they've got some absolutely fantastic specialty restaurants. And the beauty of Saga is you don't have to pay for any of them.
No,
they're all
included.
Wow, that's nice too.
Ray and Joe are saying it's $199 here in New Zealand, Swede.
That's crazy. Yeah. Wow.
So that's yeah. Sean's asking when we're putting our tour of Marella Voyager. We're doing tours within our vlog, Sean. So you'll see in the coming episodes, you'll be shown around the ship and all the new areas, etc. We may do a separate tour of the ship. I don't know. We might do a food after this. We've got so much footage. We're going to see. I'm still putting it in different folders to see what we've got, which we can make another good video out of, which will be useful to everyone. On our website, we are putting together a full review of everything, and already we're splitting that up. So if you want to know about the exchange, you want to know about Platter, all the different parts of that ship, make sure you visit our website too. So and Tina's saying guest services might be trained by Igloo customer service. Tina's not had a very good time with Igloo at the moment.
Well,
so no, we didn't either. But anyway, I think, gosh, it's nearly an hour and a half. We've been chatting for so long, haven't we? It's been lovely to have you guys on here. So I think we need to wrap it up, don't you?
We do, because I got to be on the start line at 10:30 Sunday morning.
You need to beauty rest.
But thanks for everyone joining us today. It's been lovely as always. Make sure you follow Jerry and Jill, the Cruise and Canucks, because they will be putting their videos about how you can actually book a Marella cruise as someone from North America, from Canada or the US. And obviously make sure, we've got more banners. I've got more banners.
Oh,
no, Mary's taught me well. Look. Yeah. Hopefully you all have seen our first episode, embarkation of First Impressions. And tomorrow we've got our second I've still got Tina Webb on the screen, haven't I?
Yeah.
So we've still got Tina there. So as you can see, all on the way awards. Oh my God, I'm not very good at
No, you're not any.
I'm not very good at this, am I? So hide that. There we are. So
there we go.
So that's our video coming out on Friday. So
tomorrow.
Where's everyone gone?
Yeah, we're here.
So hide that as well. There we are.
There we go.
Still learning.
Oh, nice.
Dear. So, but thanks everyone for joining, and we will chat with you all soon.
Yeah, squeeze you later.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks
Cheers,
for having
guys.
us.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.